I have good news, I have bad news, and I have some stuff in between. Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle. They call me the Honey Badger because I give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, and this is your RV industry update. Used RV market update June 2024. And I want to apologize for my attire and for my sweating. It's really hot here in Nevada. Super hot, okay? Now, there is an Easter egg inside this video, and if you find it, please make sure you let me know in the comments section. Okay, so whether you're shopping or selling a toy hauler, a travel trailer, fifth wheel toy hauler, motorhome, etc., there have been articles in May about the wholesale value going up on used RVs. So I'm going to read the article and kind of give you the reading between the lines, okay? And I'm going to link this article in the description of this video. It says, Black Book Wholesale RV Values Auction Activity Increase. Before I go further, there's two books that are used. There's Black Book, which some of the states and lenders use, and then there's J.D. Power, which used to be the old NADA guide. So it's not saying the NADA guide, it's saying the Black Book. Okay? It says, Black Book, which publishes a family of vehicle appraisal guides, has released the Black Book RV Market Commentary for June. The average values for both motorhomes and towables sold at wholesale auctions rose for the second month in a row. So it wasn't the actual book value that rose. It's how much dealers and businesses were paying at the wholesale level at the auction. And I'm going to explain that in a minute, so bear with me because that's really important. The volume of RVs sold at auction also increased across the board, an indication that dealers are still buying more inventory to restock their lots and make sure they have the correct mix of units. We expect auction activity to stay strong while we are in the heart of prime selling season, reported Eric Lawrence, Black Book Principal Analyst, Specialty Markets. Taking a look at the markets, the average selling price for motorized units at the auction was $59,231, which is up almost $3,300 from the previous month. And if you want to know a percentage, that's about a 6% jump. Okay, towables came in at $19,606, up $833, or about 3.2%. 1 year ago, the average motorhome sold for $65,365, and the average towable sold for $21,130. Auction volume was up, motorhomes increased almost 8%, while towables rose 17%. Okay, let's stop right there for just a second. All right, so first off, what it's saying is last year, so what I've been saying this entire year so far still holds true. This is a little bit of a propaganda type of advertisement for the industry. It's not a bad thing, okay? What it really means is values have gone down. The average motorhome is being sold for a little more than $6,000 less than it did last year. So it's selling for 10% less, actually a little more than 10% less than it did last year. The average towable is selling for about $1,600 less than it did last year at auction on average. So even though they're paying a little bit more at the auction for these units, does not increase the wholesale value or what the bank is going to lend on the unit. See, that's kind of what there's a mixed bag of things. So it's really a good thing because that means dealerships. The very positive part of this is dealerships are going to start bringing more used inventory onto their lots. The bad news about that is the fact that the manufacturers are not going to be building as many new units because dealerships are focused in on used. Look, I'm going to be very abrupt here or brutal here and say that the new RV manufacturers, if you build a travel trailer, toy hauler, motorhome, it doesn't matter, the industry on the new side is going to be significantly down. The prices are too high. This is why dealerships are like, if we're going to survive, we need to do used. The only reason why the dealership I work at has survived is because of used RVs. We've sold a lot of used fifth wheels and used travel trailers. We've sold a lot of consignments. That's the only way that we have really stayed afloat. Because if we depended on new RV sales, I'd be in a lot deeper trouble than I would have been now. So you're going to start seeing this as a trend. Because let's say you go to the auction and you go buy a good used Flagstaff or Rockwood travel trailer and you pay 17 grand at the auction, you turn around and sell it for 20 or 21. After you do all your recon, you can make $2,500, $3,500 and flip your money fast, because there's more people looking for a $20,000 or $21,000 used trailer than there is people looking for a $40,000 new trailer. And that has to do with payments. So just to keep that in perspective, that has to do with people being payment buyers and cash conscious buyers. Payment buyers want something quality that they can pay less than $250 a month on with very minimum down, let's say $4 or $5 grand down. While, you got a $40,000 travel trailer, you're going to be closer to $350, $400 even with good credit because of where interest rates are. So this is not shocking. Not shocking at all. Does it mean that the wholesale value that the banks lend on went up? No. So I looked it up myself. So I went on J.D. Power and I looked up all the used trade-ins and all the consignments I have on the lot. And for the most part, here in June 2024, it stayed flat. I had one piece that went down $200. I had one piece that went up $60 because I print the book out every time just so I can compare. Right? So that big drop we had in March, it hasn't like trickled down to get hit that hard again. It stayed mostly flat from what I could tell. And I've got a pretty good mix of inventory on my lot as far as I have some fifth wheel brands. I have some travel trailer brands. I have one or two toy haulers. So there's a pretty good idea that really the value part, how lenders look, stayed flat. RV loan and RV interest rate update June 2024. Before I get started, if you are enjoying this content, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out tremendously. A few weeks ago, I made a prediction that I believed interest rates on RV loans would go up slightly. Not like dramatically, but we're talking 0.25% to 0.5%. That's what I predicted. And so far, it has not come true. RV loan rates for good credit seem to still be hovering between 7.99% and 9.99%. Now, if you've seen the channel before, you know that interest rates are determined by the dollar amount financed, your down payment percentage, credit history, and credit score. And of course, there's always exceptions here and there, but that's pretty much the guideline. Now, I'm going to talk about more about those guidelines as we go along this video. Now, when it comes to the RV loans, this is what's very interesting. We're kind of getting back to some kind of normalcy in the industry as far as how lending works. And what I mean by that is during when everybody was overstuffed with 2022 inventory, lenders across the spectrum of the RV industry were very laxed and still allowing dealerships for almost 2 years to use the new program for 2022s. That's a long time. That's not normal. It was as if the lenders were kind of working with dealers and manufacturers to try to trim down that 2022 inventory. Now, if you're wondering, well, why would they do that? Well, it's because a lot of the banks that are retail banks that work directly with dealers also do the inventory loans. So it kind of was a symbiotic relationship there. Like, hey, we'll continue with this because we want you to get rid of the inventory. Well, that's coming to a stop. The 2023 year models are going to get away from the new programming. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get a used RV rate. No, no, no. You'll still get a really good interest rate with your good credit on a new 2023. Who it affects is the dealerships. Okay, so the dealerships no longer can use or are soon not going to be able to use the new program on 2023s. Now, what does that mean for you, the buyer? Not much has changed for you, the buyer. You may have a little more negotiating power, maybe a couple $100. Maybe you can get them to knock off another $300 or $400 off their price, especially because dealerships across the United States and Canada, unless of course they want to go out of business, have dramatically dropped their 2023 prices basically down to either losses or break even. So there's no meat on the bone. There's no profit on the bone to get a $6,000 or $7,000 more off a $25,000 trailer. That's not going to happen. But what it means for you, the consumer, is you have probably a little more negotiating power on the pricing of a 2023 than you do on a 2024 or coming up a 2025. Now watch this. If you're a dealership, what it means is the fact you better get off your butt and get rid of your 2023s. If you're still trying to make a 9, 10, 11% margin on a 2023, you're just going to keep running into the same, it'll be the same cycle with 2022s. It'll just be a bad cycle. Now, I don't know of any dealers that are like in Profitville with 2023s. I could tell you from the folks I've been talking to, all they do is complain they're taking massive losses. So the reality is not much is going to change with that. Now, one lender already said that 2023s no longer are under the new program. They'll still give you the new interest rate, but not under the new program. Let's talk about Grand Design RV's 5-year frame warranty. Now, I delayed talking about it because I had a feeling in my gut that there was going to be a second part to the whole thing, and I was right. So now we get to talk about it as a whole, okay? So I'm going to read the PDF and go through most of it. Not all of it because it's 6 pages and it would take like 2 hours to do that on this video. So it says, what does this warranty cover? This is important. Grand Design RV LLC warrantor provides this 5-year warranty period, 5-year limited towable frame warranty. Limited warranty in parentheses. So let me repeat that. It is a 5-year limited towable frame warranty. You guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of Grand Design, okay? I'm not. We all understand all the accusations, everything that's occurred that customers have told, customer stories, things of that nature. Let's just talk about this part and frame it just for a minute. It's not just for Solitude, Reflection, and Momentum fifth wheels. They have expanded this frame warranty to towable. It might be a limited warranty, and there's probably some exclusions, obviously, but they are also covering the travel trailers and the toy haulers. So you're talking Imagine, Transcend, Momentum, Reflection, Solitude travel trailers. So it's across the board, their entire towable lineup. year model 2020 or newer, and it has to be the original consumer. There's going to be a caveat because remember there's a second part, okay? This limited warranty covers defects in towable frame assembly, defined below, utilized by warrantor and labor provided directly by warrantor, but does not cover parts not standard equipped by the warrantor. Okay, so pretty much it's similar, it reads similar to roof warranties. Okay, so let's break that down. It reads similar to a roof warranty. When you have these lifetime roof warranties, these 15-year roof warranties, they don't cover the parts, but they cover the labor. Okay, or they cover the parts, but don't cover the labor. So that's where that kind of falls in. In this case, they're basically saying they're going to cover the labor, but not the parts. That's the way it reads. Okay. So the limited warranty is registered to the vehicle's owner's name within 30 days of the date of purchase. This limited warranty is not assignable to any person or entity. Towable frame assembly consists of materials directly attributed to the warrantor, namely the frame rail, the main frame rails, I-beam, outriggers, cross members, upper deck frame, and any original components affixed by weld or huck bolt to towable frame assembly. Okay, so yeah, basically we're just what we said. Okay, now let's go down to where is it? What types of things are excluded from the limited warranty? A, any and all components that are attached to the frame assembly in final stage production, including axles, fifth wheel pin box, rear hitch assemblies, unless welded or huck bolted to the frame, sidewalls, or any other body structural component, any components installed in the underbelly area between the frame rails. So basically there's a bunch of exceptions, and I'll put it inside the description box of this video. Again, it's like they're separating it, and I think I know what's going on here. So let's say you're, and just bear with me, okay? This is the explanation. I'm not taking a side. This is the explanation, okay? Basically, they have a 3-year structural warranty for like your sidewalls, your floor, etc. If you're in year 4, okay, and you have a frame failure or frame flex problem, they are covering the frame only. They're not going to cover the sidewalls. They're not going to cover the floor. They're not going to cover the pin box. They're not going to cover the structural part. They're just going to cover the frame. That's basically how it reads. Okay? And again, I'll put this in the description box so you guys can read it for yourselves. There's 6 pages, but the second part is the most important part. Remember when I said it had to be the original person? I had a feeling that that was going to have a lot of... See, here's the thing. I really haven't talked about it a lot, either on the podcast or here on the main channel, because realistically, there's so many people talking about it now. I knew there was going to be enough pressure placed on Don Clark to make him respond to it, and he did. Whether, and again, I'm not taking a side in this. This is just basically what they said. Dear valued customers, we have heard good feedback on our recent announcement on the extension of our frame warranty on all units to 5 years. However, some of our customers have asked if it's possible to make this warranty transferable to subsequent owners. This is a value add for our current customers and peace of mind for customers shopping Grand Design RVs in the used market. Absolutely. When you buy a Grand Design, you expect industry-leading product, service, and warranty, and we agree. We have listened to your requests, and we have some exciting news. Effective immediately, our 1-year base warranty, 3-year structural warranty, and 5-year frame warranty are all transferable to subsequent owners during the warranty period based on the original purchase date. These warranties will continue to be honored retroactively from the date of original purchase, beginning with year model 2020. Subsequent owners should notify Grand Design to update our records and enjoy the coverage of the warranty. Okay. Now, I saw this coming for a while. If you want to, I saw this coming because enough people have talked about it. And, you know, eventually someone was going to wake up and make a decision. Whether it's wrong or right, I'm not going to make a judgment in this video. That's not what this video is about. That's not what this real channel is about. This channel is about giving you the information, not take a side. Okay, if you want to get to know what how I feel about it and more deep analysis of it, I'm going to do a podcast episode on Monday, June 3rd. That'll be released in the evening. That'll be a deeper, bigger breakdown of it. And again, I'm not really going to take a side. I'm going to give you my opinion, but that's as far as I'm going to go with it. And at the end of the day, guys, this had to happen because they were already, if you go into Elkhart, Indiana, or wherever the factory is, you see a bunch of people that are influencers, that are filming and taking pictures and recording and documenting all the vehicles going in for frame problems to Grand Design. You know, whether you're on the side of they're a pile of crap or whether you're on the side of Grand Design can't do any wrong, we all have to make an admittance that at least something is moving forward. It may not be what everybody wants, it may not be what everybody needs, but at least there is some kind of forward progress. It doesn't mean it's right, okay? I'm not saying and defending anybody. You guys know how I feel. But at least there's small baby steps moving forward because they don't have a choice but to do it. And you know what? I'm glad that they react. And here, one last thing on this. I'm glad they reacted quicker to this than they did to frame failure and frame flex in the first place. This update was in May to give the 5-year warranty, and then they, like weeks later, turned around and made it transferable. So that's a lot quicker than how they've reacted to other things in the past. So obviously, hopefully, somebody got some foot up their butt. New RV pricing update, June 2024. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but so 2023 year models are slowly but surely going to be considered under a used lending program. It doesn't mean the interest rate's going up. The interest rate will stay the same because it still is a new travel trailer, motorhome, fifth wheel, toy hauler, etc. But you may have a little more negotiating power on a 2023 than you would on a 24 or 25. So if you got a dealer that's got like 10 23s in stock, go look at those first. You probably can get a little bit more money. Maybe one thing I would say is you might be able to get the hitch equipment thrown in for free. You might be able to get a second battery for free. You might be able to do, negotiate some kind of, maybe they do the fifth wheel hitch at their cost, or maybe you buy the fifth wheel hitch and they install it for you at their labor rate, at their internal labor rate. There's a little more negotiating power with 2023s than there will be with 24s or the new 25s coming out. Now, what I will say is you're going to see some of the 2024 start getting their prices slashed. And a lot of that has to do with what we talked about at the very beginning of the video, which is the used RV market update. Used RVs are being purchased at a greater clip by dealerships, not by manufacturers, but by dealerships at auctions, street buys, consignments, etc. because that's what the market's calling for. Because I know people get shocked by this, but the super majority, we're talking more than 85% of transactions are through traditional RV financing. People are still payment buyers. And payment and price in the RV industry always correlate. So I'll give you an example. Some people try to negotiate an RV like they negotiate a car. They're two separate animals. You can't negotiate them the same. Okay? But what I will say is if you're trying to buy a $70,000 fifth wheel for $350 a month, that doesn't happen. Okay? But if you're trying to buy a $35,000 trailer for $300 a month, you're a lot closer. So what I recommend to everybody is go look at all the new pricing on your local dealers' websites. Plug in 8.99% if you have good credit, just so you have the middle ground, not the high, not the low, but the middle. If you've got fair credit, plug in 12.99. If you've got bad credit, plug in 17.99. Do a 10 or 12-year loan, and that'll give you a basic idea of what the payment is. So that way you can sit there and go, what can we really afford price-wise? You know, if they're marked it down to 34.9, more than likely there's not a lot of negotiating room to get it down to 25. That's not going to work. I get a lot of people that offer me 10 grand off my selling price, which a lot of times is $7,000-8,000 less than what I own it for. Because there's that mentality, well, I got to get to $250 a month. So realistically, new RV pricing is going to stay pretty steady. It's going to stay very moderate. Again, if you want to negotiate, if you're a hard negotiator, doesn't want the dealer to make money, go negotiate on a 2023. Okay? Dealers are going to draw a line in the sand how much money they're really willing to lose. And you know, getting 75% off just is not going to happen. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're shopping for new RVs. And the last thing I'm going to say on it is when it comes to 2025s, dealerships are going to hold all the money. You're going to see dealerships that bring in 2025s, they're going to bring in a limited amount of them. They're not going to bring in a big amount. They're going to bring a limited amount, which means they're going to boost the price up so that way they get rid of their 24s first. You're going to watch that happen. That's going to be a very, very common thing that is going to happen across the entire industry, from the big corporate stores like Camping World all the way down to mom and pop. They're all going to get a lot smarter. And don't be shocked if next year less new RVs are shipped from factories than there's going to be this year. Now, as far as RV loans, RV financing, how that whole thing works, how an interest rate is determined, everything of that nature, especially if you have good credit, that video is right there.